I says, you go and come with you. And she was like, but you can't. I says, well, I am. 4 years ago, I just hit rock bottom. And my son's 14 now, but 9 at the time, and he used to go to his dad's his dad used to pick him up from school at 5 o'clock on the Friday, and he would go to Sunday at tea time. And I can remember he went off with his dad on the Friday, and then I took myself off to bed and I lay there and I spent the whole weekend contemplating how I was going to end my life. And the only thing that stopped us was I knew he'd be coming back Sunday at tea time. It would have been the Ben that found us, and that's the only thing that stopped us. I rang the doctors on the Monday morning and says, I think I need help. So it was just, I've never felt, so I lost my mum when I was 13. So throughout my adult life I've suffered with depression and not so much anxiety until later in my life, but I've never felt that low before, to the point where I didn't want to be here anymore. I'd been having a relationship with somebody, I sort of sussed that I wasn't the only one. I'd obviously developed feelings for him that weren't reciprocated, and I knew, and it just, and now when I look back I could kick myself because I'm like, oh my god, I nearly killed myself over a bloke, which is like, do you know what I mean? It's just, but when I went to the doctors on the Monday, they took us straight in, and I sat in front of the doctor and I literally couldn't speak. He said, what's the problem? And I just burst into tears. And I was a mess, and he prescribed us the sertraline, and when I went back, actually got us in 4 weeks later to do a meds review, and then I was way up the dose. So I work with lads on probation now and support them with their mental health. And a lot of them I don't want to be taking medication. And I was like, sometimes you need it, because I don't know, and I ended up taking sertraline for 4 years. But I'm back into a routine, the gym, and doing what's good for me. But I think I needed the sertraline when I look back, but that was the lowest point in my life. So it was, I just, like I say, I lay it, and my plan was, I've always got loads of medication in the house because my son's got a chronic illness. So the plan was I was just going to get all the medication together and take a lot. I don't think that helped, so weekends were hard because I sort of had him Monday to Friday, and then he was away, and 9 times out of 10 I never got a phone call or anything like that, and it was just, and somebody who I thought was a friend rang us on the Saturday morning because I'd put something on Facebook, and they were like, what the fuck was that all about? And I was trying to tell her and help, and I remember just hanging the phone up and thinking, nobody gives a shit.
And that's the thing, when people do reach out as well, there is that stigma attached. When you've been there and you've asked for that help and that support, and that's how you go.
Because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And like you say, in the stigma, if I talk to people, they kind of think, oh, she's got this over a bloke.
It sounds like what you're saying as well about the job that you do now, is that there's a stigma attached to just even going to get meds.
Massively. And more so for the men, I think. I wanted to feel my emotions, and I was like, even when I was on sertraline, I was on 200 milligrams, which is quite a high dose. I still felt emotion. It just, the way I like to think about it is, or the way I describe it to the lads, your brain's made up of chemicals, and sometimes you're lacking in certain chemicals, and the drugs just put it back. Obviously, prescription drugs, not illegal drugs like a lot of my lads use. So it's the thing, something like sertraline just sort of levels it all out, and I still felt emotion. I didn't think they were like, you feel like a zombie, and I was like, I just felt like me, but it made us, I've got back into it. I go to the gym, my mates all think I'm mental. I'm in the gym every morning, 6:15. I do a class every morning. I run shrimp platoon on a weekend, so we're a bunch of veterans and we go in the sea, and that's good for your mental health, but supporting other people, I think, helps. I've done the job I'm in now for 18 months, and I weaned myself off the sertraline, and I think it's routine as well. Routine helps, but I know the gym helps my mental health. So when I've had a shit day, I go to the gym or I go for a walk, and this is why I try and tell the lads on probation, instead of picking the crack pipe up, listen to some music or go for a walk. It's what we call healthy coping strategies, and I've probably, without realising it, done that for myself. Like say that weekend, I just felt on my own. Nobody give a shit. And I just thought, I can't go on like this. Like, I don't know what pushed us to that point and when I think back now, I'm like, oh my God, like, I might not be here now, had I not. And it was just, I don't know what it was. I was lying there and I just really thought, we better not find you. And I couldn't have done that to a 9-year-old boy. It was the only solution. Like a big plate of spaghetti bolognese, it was just, the pasta and everything was just mixed up. And I couldn't see a way of sorting it all out. So the only way I could think of doing it, then, like I say, when I went to the doctors the next day and they offered us counselling, I think I had 2 sessions. It wasn't for me, it was making a bad life. And it was my friend who's a counsellor, and I spoke to her, and she was the one said, look, try the counselling. Obviously she couldn't do it because you think that it's the only way and it's not. Talking, but that is why I always say talking really does help. And if by doing something like this helps one other person, then it's achieved something. And there's loads of support out there, like loads. Talk to somebody, talking helps massively. I'll always remember years, because I'm ex-police officer, and I pulled a lass off Weymouth Bridge, and she was only 18, 19. It had the most horrendous life, onto the drugs, so the prostitute had to pay for both of the habits. Yet there was just this trauma. And when I got off the bridge, again, she said there was just this chaos and this darkness in her head. But when she looked down at the river, she could just see calm, and that's where she wanted to be. And she said, but I had hold of her on the bridge that day, and I said, you go and come with you. And she was like, but you can't. I said, well, I am, because I'm not letting go. And I ended up, I mean, took her to a place of safety, but I ended up going for rape counselling, and she would only go if I went with her. And she's now, the last I heard, doing really well for herself. And there's always a way. You've just got to find your way. The only option there are, like I say, it's just asking for help is the hardest thing to do, but it's the biggest step you'll ever take. And I know that myself now.
I wouldn't be sat here without you. I think that is a lot, because I picked the phone up and came down and saw you in fucking world's smallest violin, like, and if you hadn't got me in counselling, like, I wouldn't be here, man. I wouldn't. And I wouldn't have fucking gone along the path that I did.